Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Called Jane, and this is a new historical drama starring Elizabeth Banks from director Phyllis Nagy, coming to Amazon, and this focuses on a woman who is pregnant and is told by her doctor that there's not a good chance of her surviving if she has this child, and when the hospital's like, nope, we picked the baby, she decides to look elsewhere for other options and winds up finding Called Jane. And this organization, which there was a documentary about this over on HBO this year, and she winds up becoming so ingrained into this specific group that's helping out, and this whole entire story is about her kind of finding liberation, also having commentary on abortion rights and female reproductive rights, and very timely with Roe v. Wade being overturned. And this is definitely coming out at a very specific time with other films like Happening that came out earlier this year. And right off the bat, this is like pretty by the numbers kind of narrative. You probably expect where this film's gonna go. It has some very melodramatic moments, like the whole thing at the hospital with the men voting and all like snooty older men just being, no. And there's definitely moments that feel pretty staged. And they also try to hit some bigger intersectionality. Like there's a whole entire argument where Wunmi Mosaku's character Gwen brings up the fact that like this is a bunch of white women, she's the only black woman, what are you going to do about the black women who can't afford the $600 that they're charging to do this? And it dips its toe into those kinds of issues but never really dives in. But in general, it does a fine job of doing commentary on this basic idea of reproductive rights for women, and also that kind of like sisterhood, that connection that they all have with each other. And at the start, like the doctor who's doing it is a cold young man, and slowly them getting more ownership over their own organization and really taking charge of it. And I think Elizabeth Banks gives a really fine performance here. I think she's doing a really good job. There's definitely some layers of emotion that she has to bring that in a lot of films that I've seen her in, she really hasn't had to. Sigourney Weaver, who is Virginia, who runs this organization, she's great as always. She has some great moments, even an odd one where she's trying to like negotiate with the doctor by playing strip poker, basically. You also have Chris Messina, who is our main character, Joy's husband, who I feel like they give him too much. Like, there's this whole entire side thing with him and his sister-in-law, played by Kate Mara, and it's just like, did that need to be in here? They really should have spent more time on, say, Elizabeth Banks and Kate Mara and building up those kinds of things. And you also have Grace Edwards, who plays their daughter. But in general, this is a well-made, fits the time, the production design's great, it's well directed, it's well paced for a 2-hour film. It might try to bite off a little bit more than it can chew, but it's a fine film that does a good job of taking on this message, maybe taking on a little bit too much than it should have, but in the end, this is worth checking out, and I think this is a real solid film. But those are my thoughts on Called Jane. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.